Hey, everybody, welcome back to On the Run. Kevin Sully, joined as I am each week by Lincoln Shrike.
What's up?
And Jenny Zahn.
Hello.
And we are very excited, extremely excited,
Yes.
some of us more than others, to be joined by a guy who's been making waves on the junior college scene this year, a name that was off the radar a bit, but now he has come into full focus. His name is Kenny Bednarek, Indian Hills Community College. He's joining us now from Autumna, Iowa, with his coach, LaRon Williams. Guys, how you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, we've been good.
Let's start here first with you, Kenny. 20.3, your most recent race, junior college record, but you had it already earlier in the season when you dropped to 20.4. Has anything you've done this year in your first year surprised you?
A lot, because my senior year of high school, my last 200 I ran was a 21.9. And then the fact that I just ran a 20.6 in my first 200, now 20.30, all of that is surprising me. But it's, saying all the hard work that I've been doing, like with each coach I've had is, coming to life right now. But, so far this has all been amazing experience. But, yeah, they got a lot more work to do, though.
Tell me a little bit about your journey to Indian Hills Community College. Had some very impressive high school times. How'd you end up at Indian Hills?
Well, obviously, with the times I ran in high school, I came to a community college because of grades. But I chose Indian Hills because, there's all these other great JUCOs and all that out there, and they all contacted me. But I chose this place because the program only been open for 3 years, and I like the sound of building a program up. Bringing it up to life and having more good athletes come into here and, build it up.
Kenny, what have you been doing with Coach Williams at Indian Hills this year and training differently from last year at Rice Lake in high school that's allowed you to get to this level where you're running, breaking 45 in a split in the 4x4 and then also obviously the 20.3 last week? And what are you doing in training differently?
Before LaRon, we had a coach Brent, and we did really nutty stuff, but long distance, and he really pushed my body to the max. And then LaRon coming in and noticing all the technical stuff, I'm fast, but there's a lot more things I need to work on, and he can see every little detail, and he's been helping me work on that to improve my running. But I've been doing a lot of core, a lot of lifting, and then just a lot of technical stuff just to improve my form and all that. And then especially with the blocks and all that, like my blocks there, I need a lot of work in that. But, once I get that down, I know he will help me get there. But once I get it down, I'll be able to, get even faster and run something crazy.
And Coach, did you expect the athlete you were going to be getting here in Kenny to be running the times he's running so far? And what improvements have you seen throughout the season thus far?
Absolutely not. I knew he was, but when he started putting it on the track, it was like, whoa, we got to recalibrate what we're doing. We got to readjust because that's fast for January. Oh wow, that's fast for the third week in January. Okay, now we have to adjust again. And the one thing I will say about Kenny is when he runs and he trains at max. He trains at 100%. There is no slowing down for Kenny. And I think it speaks to him as an athlete more so than anything. I think he's a rare breed. He definitely has a gift, and I'm excited to have an opportunity to mold him as a young man. So,
Kenny, only 7 or 8. Your time is the 8th fastest in U.S. history indoors. What does that mean to you? Can you wrap your mind around that you're in a short list of the best Americans all time in an event?
I haven't really thought about it that much, but when I still start, I don't know, it's just hard to believe. But I'm obviously the hard work I've been doing is showing up. So, but it's really hard to believe that just a freshman in college and I'm already running that fast. I'm like, dang, wow, I'm that good. It's hard to find around it, but
Kenny, what do those accomplishments make you think about the future, both in terms of the scope of the rest of this season, as well as beyond? Obviously, 2019 is a big year, and then 2020. What do you think you can do now?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. I can only go up. I mean, I know I have a lot left in the tank, and I'm still young, more time to improve, But by outdoor season, I'm gonna figure I'm gonna run something crazy.
What kind of goals do you have? Do you have like time goals set for the rest of the indoor season, and what about outdoor season? Where will we see you?
Well, obviously the 200 right now. I've been running that. I ran that twice, and I've only ran the 4 once. So 200 wise, like I kind of have a goal. Like I want to go run. I ran a 20.3, but I think at the end of indoors, I want to get in the 19s, or I can try to get 20.0 something. But with the 400, with that 44.9 split I ran, I think I can. If I know how to run that in the open, I can definitely get like a 44.8 or something around that area.
I don't know if you know this, but I think only is it one guy all time has broken 20 indoors, one or two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, think about. I think the world record's right around there. Mm-hmm. So when you're saying that, you're putting yourself in that type of category. Are you? You feel like you have that much left in you, maybe this indoor season?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, after that 20.3, like I knew like right after that race and walking off the track, I had a lot left. I could have pushed harder. My block starts could have been better. I mean, my block start was all right, but it was average. But once I get it down, like I believe I can get all the way down there.
LaRon, this next question's for you. We watch all Kenny's races. We either see him, on our site, or they come up on social media. It's kind of become a phenomenon now. Like, what did Kenny B do this week? And when watching him run these races, obviously he's blowing people out, and it makes me wonder, what does practice look like? I can't imagine you have too many people with his talent level. What's it look like day to day in practice?
He definitely has his days. The best story I can equate to that is the first week I got here, and it was nice outside, and I was like, hey, they were just coming off a break, and I wanted to get some long reps in just to kind of break them back into school. So we did a workout. I think it was 6 200s, and I broke them up into groups, and obviously I put Kenny up there with the elites, and we got to about the 4th 200, and I mean everybody else kind of started to fall off, and Kenny started to pick it up, and then I started dropping little pointers here and there because I'm just now seeing, oh, this is what the 45 kid can do. And we got to the 5th and 6th rep, and Kenny went, I think he dropped 24 on the 5th rep, and then he went 22.9 on the 6th rep, and I was kind of like looking at my watch like, but the crazy thing was to see the distance disparity between him and then the rest of the elite kids was kind of like, all right. Well, so I mean, there's times where I put Kenny in that group to train with them because obviously to train with Kenny is obviously a good thing, but there's times where I know he's gonna need that individual training, and he's gonna need that individual kind of coaching cues, and I have to kind of tell him some things a little bit differently. So yes, there's some crazy things that he does at practice, and there's sometimes it's really hard for him to stop indoors. So it's but yeah, it's crazy sometimes.
What's your vision for him? Most people are probably familiar with the junior college system. If they weren't before, Last Chance U, the football series, has probably popularized that as this idea of this is a place to get somewhere bigger and better. Kenny, obviously one of those people who has very bright things in his future. Coach, what's your vision? Where would you like to see Kenny in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years?
Obviously, I think he has a chance to make the world team. I honestly want to make sure that he's setting up his life so he can do better for himself and his family. But we discussed kind of the goals of running late into the summer and possibly setting up the Olympic year next year. So we are already thinking about next year. So that's essentially how we, getting the experience of competing for a world team. You don't want to wait till Olympic year to try to make to compete with those guys, because it's about, at that point in time, it's a little bit different motivation at that time. So you want to get that experience initially and then put your best foot forward during the Olympic season. So he and I are definitely on the same page with those things. But I every time, we had a conversation this morning, like, and dream bigger. Just getting him to dream bigger than what he's essentially thought, because he never thought he'd run this fast indoors, and now he's running this fast. And so it's like, open your mind up to the impossibilities. That's essentially what track and field is accomplishing the unaccomplishable. So he's got the tools to do it, though.
Kenny, something unique about you is you're running these times, but you haven't raced against kind of the guys who are running in the same ballpark as you in the 200 and the 400. If you could race any professional or top college guy right now in either the 2 or the 4, who would you most like to face? Because again, you're running times and you're blowing guys out of the water. I mean, you haven't had any competition. I mean, who would you really like to get into the start line next to?
Anybody.
Yeah, anybody. I mean, I haven't really thought about that, but anybody. I mean, it'd be great just to get to run with the same talent and all that, and see how
Absolutely.
I could fare against them. Because I've been like this like since high school. I've been a standout in high school, and I haven't had like that we had a lot of good people in Wisconsin, but I never had like anybody all the way up at my level. So just to have anybody at like same talent or even better talent, it'd be good, just to see what I can do with them.
Kenny, how much are you paying attention to things that are going on in like Division I, the pro leagues right now? Like, how much are you involved in that and following what's going on those levels?
To be honest, I really don't pay attention that much to it. I mean, I've just been kind of focused, here at school. I mean, I follow FloTrack, and I follow, Diestat and all that stuff, and I just, see what's going on around. But I never I'm not really focused, hard focused on what other people are doing. I'm kind of focused on myself, school and all that. And,
you previously mentioned training in Wisconsin. I know you're from Rice Lake. I'm actually from Wisconsin myself, and I knew about you in high school. I am, nonetheless still shocked to see just how fast you've been this season. It's awesome. What kind of facilities did you have access to there? Because I have to imagine that impacted your training. What kind of resources did you have available to you in terms of coaching? I'm just kind of curious what advantages or disadvantages you have being in Rice Lake. I know it's not a very big town in Wisconsin.
I mean, we had the weight room, we had the gym, we had our track, whenever we could use it if it wasn't snowing.
I was about to say, weather permitting.
Last year and the year before that, I mean, my coach, Saseda, my coach, Tebow, when we had the chance to get outside, they did, they put us to work. And, it's just the talent I got, last year, half our season was gone because the snow and the weather, and I still ended up pulling off a 20.4, which is a little short of training and all that stuff. But, it kind of speaks for my talent. I also spoke for, the coaching I actually got. They did their job and helped me still progress, even with the short amount of time we had.
Coach, I'm curious, are you training Kenny more as a 200 athlete, a 400 athlete, or is it a hybrid? How much volume is he doing?
I'm training him as a 400 athlete. If it's hard to believe, but he has the bulk of the volume right now, and so as we get closer to championship season, we kind of taper off a little bit. But yeah, that's the kind of funny part. I don't know if you guys watched that video a little bit at Nebraska, but Kenny didn't grab his knees after he crossed the line. He kind of just waved at the crowd and then walked off. So I didn't know if anybody had noticed that, and we had a full conversation after that too. He was literally hey, I could have went faster, coach, and my eyes kind of were like, you could have went faster than that, and so essentially we we've been watching film of, Michael Norman and how he did it, at Texas A&M, and saying, hey, this is what he came in at the 2 at. Here's how he's handled that, and here's how his body position, how his posture is, how he's look how calm he is, look how he's breathing, and essentially that's how we've been training and working the 200 to prepare him for that 4. So we're looking forward to nationals at Pittsburgh. So
Michael Norman, not a bad guy to model yourself after. What sort of, I mean, it's tough. He had such a great year, but what sort of similarities do you see between Kenny and Michael Norman?
Size, so a little bit of physique, and how aggressive they both are in the first 2. I see when Kenny runs it, he attacks it with great posture, knee lift, and he doesn't lose it. He doesn't fall far from it. There's working on his breathing is one of the things that I think is the biggest thing that I need to really help him with right now, because I think it'll help him finish a little bit better. But those are the similarities. I like how he's like what he's doing right now. But it honestly, that I think Kenny is still his own breed. I haven't, I've competed in the Big 12, and I've seen, I had an opportunity to go, and train myself down in Jamaica, and I still haven't came across anybody that looks like Kenny, and that speaks volumes. So it's cool to see, and it's an honor to again mold that this kind of athlete. So it'll be fun to see. So I'm having fun. Hey.
Do you feel any pressure, Coach?
No. It's like I said, when you compete at such a high level for such a long time, and then Kenny's honestly he doesn't really know like the track and field scene. So it's honestly like a mentorship. It's like, hey, this is what we were thinking back in the day. I don't want to, this is how you should think right here. Or have you ever thought about doing it this way? We essentially go back and forth in thought, and I just mentor him. So, and I just so happen to be a coach at the same time. So, it's like I said, it's fun for me because I get to see him grow as an athlete and get to grow, as a person, and we get to watch him just, he's going to be on the scene one of these days, and we get to have, get the opportunity to see him on, TV possibly saying, hey, we used to, that he was at Indian Hills, so.
Is there, Kenny, when you think back to your time in high school, when you found out, I'm assuming there was a point when you found out that you'd have to go the junior college route, was there any moment of disappointment, regret? What were your, can you walk me through kind of your senior year when you found out and how you kind of dealt with that and coped with that?
I mean, when I found out, obviously I was very disappointed, but I guess the main reason why I was really disappointed is because, the expectations and, people already knew I was fast and they expected me to go D1. So I kind of focused on like, what are the people going to think about that? But then, I had talks with my mom, with other people, and they say, you messed up, you got to pick your knees up and you go to school and make sure you get the grades up. And then, if you want to go D1 and, whatever happens, just make sure, you work hard to get where you want to get. I mean, and then they also said, regardless of where I went anyways, like, if I had the right coaching and everything, I progressed in anything, so, but, I was kind of disappointed because, I knew I should be D1, but, obviously the mistakes I made my freshman year and sophomore year in high school, kind of held me back. So
was that the situation? Kind of dug yourself in a hole early on, and then 11th and 12th grade got back? Yeah.
Yeah, my freshman, like the way it was for me in high school is my freshman year in high school and sophomore year in high school, I just kind of, just cared about sports, didn't want to really do my work. Then when the school started coming, that's kind of like when I was like, oh shit.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay.
I was like, okay. so I got all these schools, and then my junior year and senior year I did good, but it's just how bad my freshman and sophomore year were. And, it was just I just dug myself in a big hole. But like since junior year and senior year, like I just proved to myself that I actually can do the work. So.
And Coach, I don't know how the JC to D1 recruitment process works, but I'm assuming you've been getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of texts.
Just a little bit.
You have to change your number yet?
No, but that is in the. No, I was playing. It's been getting a little wild here. So, all good calls. It's coaches that I know, and I've been around it for a while, so it's good to hear the names that I'm hearing. So it's essentially I'm trying to take it all on myself so I can keep him focused, on the season. That's the main goal. I don't want to put any more on his shoulders to make him think. I think running is natural, and so the minute you start thinking about what's next or what's getting ready to happen tomorrow, like I think it can add a little more pressure to what you naturally do. So I'll do all the behind the scenes work, and he just has to worry about running. So.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, it sounds like Kenny, you've been, JUCO might not have been your plan A, but things seem to be really working out for you right now. And, the fact that you said that you feel removed from what's going on in the pro ranks and at D1, the D1 level, the fact that you're able to just focus on what you're doing, this all seems to be really working out in your favor. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I'm here focusing, obviously improving, and then, everything's clicking right now. Everything's clicking.
To either of you, any chance Kenny would go to a Division I school after this year, or will it be the 2 years and then a jump?
We don't know. We're not saying anything.
I figured. I just wanted to check.
Well, thank you both very much for your time, Kenny. Congrats on all the success this year, LaRon. Same to you, and best of luck. The indoor season, and then hopefully we'll see you outdoors in the summer.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Good luck, Kenny.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.
Absolutely. Thanks again to our guests, Kenny Bednarek and Coach LaRon Williams. There, a lot of interesting stuff to link. I mean, we've talked about Kenny at least on that Monday show for the past couple weeks. You've been keeping tabs on him. I was interested to see. They mentioned U.S. outdoor team. You were very optimistic on his U.S. outdoor chances. Yeah. I said, wait a minute, hold on. We might be going a little too fast with this guy, but that seems to be part of their plan.
One of the best things about track and field, and I think in sports in general, is the surprise person that just rockets up. And it's kind of, even the coach and athlete are surprised themselves. And I was kind of thrilled to hear them say, we didn't expect this at all. We see it in training, but look at these times. There's so few people have run this fast. And you can just see the joy coming from Coach Williams, coming from Kenny as well, just having an absolute blast with this. And I think the point is, maybe JUCO wasn't the ideal path, but it might be, if you're a believer in things that are meant to be. This may have been where he needed to be to kind of set his mind right, get himself straightened up with the books, and clearly this partnership is working out really well.
Yeah, and it seems like it's working out for his training as well, because you're removing the pressure, and without pressure, sometimes that's what lets athletes thrive. He's not distracted. I think if maybe he went to a bigger school, especially with the times that he had going into a bigger D1 school, first of all, his stock is going through the roof right now. So whatever school takes him on next, they're going to get a really big investment out of Kenny. So I think this is really smart. It might not have been plan A, but I don't know. I don't know if it would have worked out better the other way around, actually, because it's rare to run that fast right off the bat. Like every single outing, he has improved. And actually, I'm curious. It kept talking about block starts. I wonder if we'll see him in like a 60 or something. Maybe you can work on that start a little bit more in a race setting. But lots to like about that interview with Kenny, and it seems like he's also in really good hands with Coach Williams.
It was fun to see the coach be as surprised at the running the times as we were. Usually like, no, all part of the plan. We've been mapping this out for 6 years. He's just like, man, I don't know he was going to run this fast this early. I was reminded too of what Miles Pringle said when he was on our show. I mean, he was at a small school as well too for a different reason, but he said the times are the times. You can run them anywhere. It's track, right? You don't need to do the path that everybody else took. And putting on my former high school teacher hat here, or maybe future high school teacher, who knows? A lot of kids fall behind on grades 9th and 10th grade year. And what happens, you get in that sort of trap where you can do everything that you're supposed to junior and senior year, but you're just a little bit behind and can't quite get to the finish line. And schools vary so widely that like the important thing is now he's in a spot where he can succeed and run fast. And with a sport like track, you're not going to get stuck in any one spot. Like 20.3 talks. It doesn't matter where you're doing it. Doesn't matter who's coaching you, what the track is. At 20.3 is indoors is 20.3 indoors. I mean, look at the names on this list.
That's what I was saying.
Oh no, he's in rare company. And it is crazy too, because thinking about it from high school to now, I mean, him coming in with a 21 point, I can't remember what it was, 21 point low. But still, the range, the gap between 23 and 21 low, that's insane. So I can believe and understand why he was surprised, both Kenny and the coach. Like that kind of thing doesn't just happen overnight.
Sure.
So
just a series of nights though for him. Maybe just a few nights. Yeah.
Well, you use your Wisconsin knowledge to full effect there.
Yes, Rice Lake actually.
Well, I know, but
some other really good athletes. One NBA player actually, Henry Ellenson.
Oh, really?
Rice Lake guy.
So yeah, but obviously it's not the facilities.
Right.
It's not the perfect. It's not the. I don't think even the mayor of Rice Lake would probably say, hey, this probably isn't the best spot to sprint fast, right? Everybody would agree with that. So now he's going to a place that has a step up of that, and then eventually he'll be in a place that's even more tailor-made for it. So reason why they're optimistic, it's well-founded.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's look ahead to this weekend. Millrose games. There's so many big names on the list, so I didn't want to just say, hey, pick who's going to stand out or pick who's going to break through, because a lot of these people have already broken through. So the way I've structured it is who's going to either break through that we haven't talked much about this year, or who's going to break away and completely separate themselves from the pack. So breaking through or breaking away, that's the theme of our Millrose preview. Yeah,
and I chose a breakaway, I guess you could say, because Yamif Kejelcha has already broken through long ago. At like 17 years old, he broke through. So much with when there's like a rumored world record attempt going to happen. It's like, will they go for it? Will they not? Well, we don't have that mystery here. They literally, the Nike Oregon Project, literally at the end of last week, released a hype video featuring Alberto and Yomif talking about, no, he's going to try to go for the 348.45 held by Hikam El Garouge. We know he's had a fantastic indoor season thus far, 352 at UW, and then that 351 with subpar pacing at the New Balance meet. So 348.45, only Cheserek has come within a second of it all time, which he did that last year. Shout out to your telestration on the site right now of that 349.44.
One of the best.
It is.
So far, my record this year, since I've been back at Flow since August, I said, I don't think there's going to be any sub 13 5Ks. There were 8. I said
in one race.
That one really stand out.
I said, I don't think that Kipchoge is going to break the world record. He broke it by 3 hours. And so I'm going the opposite direction this time. I think he does it. I think he's going to run like 348.4 if he does it.
Bullish.
But I mean, it's going to be absolutely close. But I look at it as in New Balance, at the New Balance meet, we ran 351. The pacer was off 600 meters. I mean, you can't do that. And so I will say here at this meet, the pacer Rob Napolitano, an accomplished runner. I still have a few concerns if can he hang on this absolutely blistering pace.
He can take him to 1,200.
But I mean, still, things are going to start to get really going, and Cheserek's going to be in there. Nick Willis will be in there. Clayton Murphy will in there. So it's a stacked field. It's a better field than it was in New Balance. It's a faster track from what I hear at Millrose. I just think if you take the two, you set them side by side. Cheserek last year ran 349. Kejelcha is a better runner, and I think he's a better miler. He's got better PRs in other distances. If Cheserek can run that fast, I think Kejelcha can run a little bit faster. And at that point, I just throw my hands up and I say, why not? I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to take down El Garouge. I do, though, want to hear what you guys think. Obviously, it's going to be difficult, but what do you guys think?
I mean, it's going to be tough, but I don't know. I want to go with you. I just like the exuberance that you brought to that
Yeah.
argument. And, I really want to see something exciting at Millrose. So, of course, I want to throw in and say, I think he's going to do it.
As long as he doesn't get attacked by a cougar or a wildcat.
And also just based on what, seriously, based on what we've seen this year, I don't think we have any reason to doubt that he can do it.
I'll go over.
What do you think, Kevin?
I'll go over. Yeah, I'll go under 350 over the world record. Jason and I were talking about this morning. We recorded an early morning pod. It's on the site. You can check that out too. We're plugging my stuff. I'm just going to keep going. You did it.
Yeah.
How many guys under 350? Yeah. That's the secondary question.
It's how many guys under 350?
Yeah. I mean, 4 have done it in history, but we could see multiple in this race.
I mean, I would say be tempted to say 1, but if he runs 348, I think you're gonna have 3 guys.
I don't know.
So if he runs 348-1 or whatever, you really think he's gonna beat? I mean, Chesrek by almost 2 seconds. I think there's gonna be someone there, and Murphy's been running so well. You brought up the stealth Murphy American record chance as well too.
I mean,
Legate's mark is there. He just ran a 145. I think multiple 350s could happen, and that might be more outlandish than predicting a world record for Kejelcha. But I think we could actually see that because he's not going to mess around. And then you got a nice, clean, single-file line. Everybody can then pace off Kejelcha, right? You don't need to worry about the actual rabbit.
Yeah.
Ches can just latch on. We know Ches is good in the chase position, right? That was a lot of his Oregon days before he decided to go for those fast times. Yeah. And with Murphy there to be able to push him.
Yeah.
No, I'm crazy.
I don't know.
2 sub 350s.
We haven't seen the Ches speed quite yet this season.
Sure.
He's been
355 flat though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but it's not enough to make me say that he's gonna go ahead and go sub 350.
Okay. And we're also with Chesrek. It's easy to compare him to literally a year ago when he was running on the flat track, which he ran the 355 last week. He ran 353. So maybe he does step up. But I'm going to be interested to see how Kejelcha and Murphy kind of interact because Murphy took the lead. It's a totally different race, totally different scenario. But Murphy took the lead in that 800 at New Balance and kind of had to go up front. He obviously would love to, I'm sure, see his teammate break the world record, but he's not also conceding the race. I mean, he doesn't want to, just because he's going for the world record, doesn't want to go up there and pseudo pace for him. So be interested to see how those two guys interact. It's gonna be fascinating if he goes out in 154. I mean, it's gonna be nuts, and I'm excited. The Millrose or the Armory will be loud and should be fun.
Did your earpiece come off before the Kejelcha passionate rant, or did it come off?
I launched
the spirit
it.
of it.
I launched it.
348. It's gone.
Yeah.
Before you look back at the tape and see me just making weird faces of you talking about Clayton Murphy taking it to Kejelcha in the race, I just want to call out that I don't think that's even going to be close. But
between those two guys,
not a chance.
Murphy's in shape.
He's in shape, but he's not in world record shape.
I think his PR in the mile is faster. Now, one's from outdoors, one's from indoors. But still, don't count him out.
I'm not.
I'm counting him out in terms of the world record and going sub 350.
Oh no, Clayton Murphy's not breaking the world record. But
I still don't even think sub 350.
I think he's one of the guys. I think there's 3 people who could legitimately do it in this race, and he's one of them. And I think 2 will. I'm gonna go with that. My pick, a breakaway as well too. Less high profile than Kejelcha this year, but same club. Nike Oregon Project. Constance Klosterhoffen, I think, is gonna really have a resounding win in that Millrose mile. She's really gone all in on indoors this year. She did that mile 1K double at Seattle. Then she ran the 15-15, 5,000 at New Balance. There's a decent, solid field in this women's race. You have Quigley and Grace coming back. They were 1-2 really close last year. But I just think Klosterhoffen has prioritized this, and she's sharp, and I expect her to win.
434 final 1600 in that 15-15.
Yeah, exactly.
She's good.
So the 420, and she ran the 429. At UW, so I think we're going to see something low, mid to low 420s.
With this weekend with Klosterhoffen, I'm really hoping to nail down what her nickname is because the NOP account have called her Coco. We pointed out that it should probably be Coclo.
I would like to think I have that much influence, but I'm also realistic and know that I don't.
Yeah.
But I could see a 425.
It's weird because when Rowberry was on her game a couple of years ago, she was running 420, like low 420s. I don't think we're in for that type of a race, but I don't know. Quigley ended last year on a big high. I don't think we've seen her. She hasn't raced, and obviously Grace has that experience. I think it's going to be a fantastic battle, no matter if the time is that low. But with Klosterhoffen, we have to remember she's run 358, I believe. So
15, yeah.
I mean,
the speed is definitely. That's why I think don't be surprised if she does like a rotary.
Yeah, I would say she's the
I definitely
favorite.
wouldn't be surprised. Also, side note, one of my big ambitions is to do an interview with Constance Klosterhoffen completely in German.
Okay.
So hopefully I get to
that's
see
bold.
her this year.
Yeah.
So my pick, and this one's
I'm gonna hold you to that.
No,
So,
yeah,
you know,
well, yeah, I can do it.
Sam Parsons speaks German.
Oh yeah, that's
Parsons,
right.
you guys
Yeah, I'll
speak
have to search out Sam.
You could
as well.
practice there.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
her English was really good. Anyway, speaking of English.
Yeah, speaking of English, English Gardner, she's my pick for breakthrough. She's making a return to the U.S. racing circuit for the first time since 2017, actually at the Outdoor Championships. She raced twice last year overseas. She wasn't quite in her 2016 form, but that's asking a lot. I mean, that was an Olympic year. And also, we learned fairly recently that since 2016, she underwent surgery for her meniscus and apparently her second ACL injury. So that's crazy. But yeah, she's had plenty of time to recover up until this point. She's got an insane 100-meter PR, 10:74.
It's not bad.
I think that's still the 7th fastest mark of all time, and she's only 26.
Yeah.
So to completely count her out just because she hasn't been around lately, I think is unfair.
And she's running the 60.
60.
Yeah, she's running the
Okay.
60, so it'll be interesting to see what she can do there. I think her PR is 7:12. I'm not completely sure on that. That was from a long time ago. I think
Yeah.
it was from 2012. But excited to see English out there again. Hopefully, if she wins, we get to see some of her trademark charisma come through at the finish line. I'll never forget the eat at the
That's
end
what
of
I'm
the
in
race.
for. That's what I'm in for, yeah. 7:12 PR. You're right.
7:12,
Yep,
yeah.
2012 in Idaho. Probably NCAA's, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. This weekend, other than Millrose,
Yeah.
so we have a bunch of meets. So on the site this weekend, we have live events in Grand Valley State, BU, Iowa State, Husky Classic, Texas Tech Shootout, and the Don Kirby Collegiate Invitational in Albuquerque. Lincoln, what should people watch?
Yes. So we all loved the cross country championships in Division One. Now on the men's side, Morgan McDonald and Grant Fisher, they're going to be at Millrose. Don't worry about them though, because at Iowa State we basically have everyone else and Vincent Kiprop and Gilbert Keegan in the 5,000. So those guys.
And say it. Say the other name. You want to say it. You're a D3 guy. Say it.
Oh,
Say it.
We also
Come
have the D3 champion, Drewville Patel, in
There
the
he is,
fast
there he
heat,
is.
going up against the guys from BYU, Roy Linkletter, Clayton Young, those guys that have run 1330s, 1340s, low 40s. Also have the guy who was, third? I can't forget, Iowa State's Edwin Kurgat. He's going to be in this mix. It's going to be a really, really fun thing, and I'm not just excited about it because we throw in a D3 guy, although I will be looking for him to take it to a few of those D1 guys. But Iowa State always brings the goods in the distance races specifically. On the women's side, too, you'll have Aubrey Roberts, a number of other ladies that were stars in cross country, looking to get their qualifiers for NCAA. So a 5K at Iowa State, that's what I'm really excited about this weekend.
I am looking forward to the Texas Tech meet. The sprints in particular are going to be fast. Texas Tech's hosted a bunch of meets this year. I think there's actually been more meets than weekends
Yeah,
in Lubbock.
seriously.
I don't know if that's mathematically possible, but
New track town.
Lincoln and I were out, indoor track town
That's
USA.
right.
Lincoln and I were out at UT yesterday. We got to see a lot of their athletes who will be in action, the pros and the collegians. Talking about Kenny Harrison in the flat 60. We're talking about Corey Carter in the 2 and the 4. And then that stable of collegiate hurdles. I think other than USC on the women's side, the high hurdle power is like with Texas. So Rochelle Burton, Mariam Abdul-Rashid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to get to see Kenny Harrison in a flat 60. And Lincoln, give like a synopsis of our takeaway watching Kenny Harrison do a workout.
I'm not obviously a starts I don't know why I should say obviously, but to the surprise of some of you, I'm not an expert in the starts. But watching Kenny Harrison and talking with Coach Flo yesterday says that Kenny Harrison is raring to go already, and he's having to pull her back. We put some videos on social media yesterday. Her starts are just absolutely by the book, and they're perfect. And just the businesswoman like, way she went through practice yesterday. She just is like got the eye of somebody that she won that world indoor title. She's told me on camera that her and Coach Flo have talked about going sub 12 in the 100 hurdles. She holds the world record already.
Yeah,
obviously,
just disclaimer, that's fast.
Obviously, it's just about getting started this weekend. But he told me, our biggest thing right now with Kenny, which is different than a lot of the other athletes he's training, is holding her back because outdoors, the world championships, are not until late September, October. She is just a machine right now. So
We're also going to see Jenna Prandini, correct?
yes, Jenna Prandini, who reunites with Coach Flo. He recruited her initially at Stanford, so their relationship goes all the way back to her late high school days. She obviously ended up going to Oregon, but I asked her why Coach Flo, and she said, "Why not Coach Flo? You know, we got this talent, and the proof is in the results. And you know, he's one of the best college coaches, and his athletes on the pro side deliver." And the good thing with Jenna Prandini, she's healthy. And last year we saw what she can do when she was healthy. She won a Diamond League, and she won the U.S. title. So excited to see her. She'll run the 200, I think the 60 as well.
What did you say when she said, "Why not Coach Flo"? Did you kind of go back and forth for a minute?
No, I couldn't counter to that because for me to challenge that, I would have to say what he hasn't accomplished. If you look at what his athletes have done, it's hard. I mean, it's not even hard to argue. You can't argue against Coach Flo. And, you know, she was hurt in 17. She was still working with Curtis Taylor of Oregon, was kind of going back and forth between being home in Clovis and being in Oregon, and didn't quite have the elite training group. I think, you know, getting athletes around her to challenge her. And it's also helped with Kenny Harrison. He was saying the speed of Jenna has really helped challenge Kenny Harrison as well. And they're really good friends, and they're building off each other, and their training complements each other. So watch out for those two.
Jenny, close it out for us.
Oh, yes. So I'm most excited to see this weekend is in Boston, and it's the Big Bad Bowerman Men's 5K. So they've got a pretty robust field heading out there to Boston. Mark Scott, Sean McGorty, Ryan Hill, Matt Hughes. Josh Thompson will be in there along with Lopez Lamong. They're going to be reportedly on pacing duty. They'll all be gunning for the standard, and you know, I think that's like 13:22 as we noted earlier. Mark Scott and Sean McGorty, their outdoor PRs are both 13:21, so that's going to be quite a battle for them to be able to make that indoors. Matt Hughes, his is at 13:19, and it'll also be a really great chance to see where Ryan Hill's fitness is because we haven't seen him in quite a while either. So.
Yeah, and it's only been a couple years ago. I have to go back and look, but when let's see, no, it was just about 2 years ago when all the Bowerman guys did come in and do this. I mean, Ryan Hill ran 13:07 in that race. He's not in this one here, but Mo, I'm losing Ahmed ran, you know, in the 13:0s as well. So just because they're going for the standard doesn't mean if they get to 3K and they're there on sub 13:10 pace that they won't go for it. So, you know, I think this one's set up, like you said, for Mark Scott, for Ryan Hill. But I'll be interested to see what the guys like Sean McGorty can do because you're right, his PR's in the 13:20s. He's going to need to run a little quicker to keep up with these guys in the last lap. And it'll be interesting to see how he's, you know, what he's done coming off of Stanford and then joining this, you know, the best training group in the United States. You know, I've seen him pound around with Centro, and obviously Hill's accomplished as well. So fascinated to see what those guys will do.
My theory is he's quite a bit faster now. That's just my theory.
Safe theory.
See if that bears out.
Yeah.
That's Friday night, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Friday. It's Friday and Saturday. One more time. The meets are GVSU, BU, Valentine Invite, Iowa State Classic, Husky Classic, Texas Tech Shootout, and then the Don Kirby Collegiate Invite. Friday and Saturday.
It's 6, folks.
Yeah.
I
It's all
initially held
live.
up 7, but it's 6.
Wow. That and Lincoln's earpiece
Yep.
just didn't work out today.
It's okay.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in each week. Thanks again to our guest, Kenny Bednarek, and his coach, LaRon Williams. Keep your eyes peeled on that guy.
Yeah.
Stay on
Yeah.
Kenny B watch. There's a new Kenny B in the track world, and he's a sprinter, not a distance runner. And he's going to do some crazy things this year for sure, mixing up in that 200. Guys, thank you, of
thanks,
course.
Cody.
And we will
Anytime.
be back on Monday to do our normal Monday morning recap show that you can watch live on Twitter. And then we'll be back in this spot, same time next week.
There you go.
Almost had it.
Noon on Wednesdays, people.
Had a perfect show. Screwed it up at the end. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, bye.